caught my attention in the book of Hebrews. You realize the book of Hebrews chapter 11 is the chapter which speaks about faith. And this chapter speaks about men of faith who have gone before us and they have done great things by faith. Now, you realize the writer of Hebrews talks about by faith, speaking about the likes of Abraham, speaking about the likes of Isaac, speaking about the likes of Moses, speaking about the likes of Jacob, speaking about the likes of different kinds of people. And even he goes ahead to speak about how the guys crossed over the Red Sea as on dry land. Now, the verse which caught my attention was these two verses, verse 31 and 32. By faith, Rahab the prostitute did not perish with those who were disobedient because she had given a friendly welcome to the spies. Verse 32, and what more shall I say? For time would not fail me to tell of Gideon, Barrack, Samson, Jephthah of David, and Samuel and the prophets, who through faith conquered kingdoms, enforced justice, all those things. Now, look at it in this way. Now, the writer of Hebrews has time to speak about the likes of David, the likes of Abraham. He has time to speak about Moses. He has time to speak about Isaac. But you know what? Verse 32, he says, for time would fail me to tell of Gideon. For time would fail me to talk about Barrack. For time would fail me to talk about Samson. For time will fail me to talk about Jephthah, to talk about David, to talk about Samuel. Why? David, a man after God's own heart. Samuel who anointed King David. How can the writer of the book of Hebrews fail to recognize such people? Samson, the strongest man, but the writer of Hebrews is able to recognize Rahab the prostitute. Rahab the prostitute. My friend, as I was thinking about this, I remembered something my younger sister wrote some few times ago. When God's grace locates you, it breaks all protocols. And God's grace located Rahab. And when it located Rahab, that's why she gets in this great chapter, which is the chapter of faith, and she's mentioned, and the writer of Hebrews says he doesn't have time to speak about David, who has been recognized as a man after God's own heart. The writer doesn't have time to speak about Samson, one of the strongest men. So guys, I felt it good for me to encourage us that you don't have to have made a lot of things for you to be recognized by God for the many things you've done. That one thing, when you do it faithfully, when you do it from your heart, it is going to be a blessing and it is going to touch God's heart.